Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. Joining us now is Oji Okpe. Good morning, Oji.
Good morning, Tundu.
I didn't even attempt
what with
the
what?
flourishes Dr. Abati likes to add.
No.
I kept it simple.
You are always excellent. Maybe we'll change it this time around. For the rest of the year, you'll introduce me.
You want to take charge?
Good morning, Dr. Abati. How are you?
I'm good.
Great. And good morning, Rufai.
Morning, Oji. How are you? How's it going?
Great. Thank you.
Great, yeah.
We'll begin what's trending in Nigeria. Yoruba activist Sunday Adeyemo, popularly known as Sunday Igboho, Banji Akintoye, leader of Ilana Omoodua, and 49 other Yoruba self-determination groups have filed a petition against key officers of the federal government of Nigeria at the International Criminal Court. The 27-page petition was filed against President Muhammadu Buhari, the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami, and Tukur Buratai, former Chief of Army Staff, and some other key government officials. The agitators, who are demanding the secession of the southwest states from Nigeria, accused the Nigerian leaders and security chiefs of genocide and crimes against humanity. The ICC Head of Information and Evidence Unit of the Office of the Prosecutor, Mark Dillon, who has acknowledged the petition, said the International Court will give consideration to the proposal as stated in the petition in due course. Well, the fact that the ICC is even looking at the petition and have acknowledged the petition is one step, I guess, in the right direction. But, the accusation of genocide is a bit of a stretch. I don't know where it's been documented at this point, the cases of genocide. Would love to see that, Tundu.
So would I. No, I wouldn't want to see genocide, but you know what I mean? Yeah, the proof. Yes, but ICC is doing what it was created to do according to the Rome statutes. It tries and investigates offenses such as genocide, crimes against humanity, crimes of aggression, and what have you. And it really has been the hope of a lot of people. We've seen high-profile convictions of people who might not have ever been convicted in their own country. But the ICC is created to be a complement to national courts, which brings me to the point. In this case, it appears to me that these activists have taken their case to the ICC in the belief that they will not get justice in Nigerian courts. But that's not true now, is it? That perception, I understand where it comes from. But we've seen in recent times, or I do hope that in recent times the tide is turning. Look at the NSAS panels that were constituted to give justice to those who were victims of police brutality, and the amounts of money that have been awarded, 770 million in Imo State. One individual, the family of one individual was awarded 28 million. There's all kinds of awards all around the country. So I do hope that the tide is turning and that you can take action against the state in Nigeria and get justice.
Well said. Dr. Abati, your analysis.
Well, I guess the reason that the Ilana Omoodua worldwide, led by Professor Banji Akintoye and Sunday Igboho and others, have gone to the International Criminal Court is simply because Nigeria is a party to the Rome Statute. The Rome Statute is, the enabling law for the International Criminal Court. And what they will achieve, perhaps, will be to draw international attention to their own grievances, to their own concerns. And the basis for that action is human rights abuses. But the International Criminal Court is not a magistrate court. It's not a high court. So it conducts its own independent investigations. And whatever has been taken before it, the independent prosecutor will do, an independent investigation and arrive at its own conclusions. Nigeria had been investigated before when Fatou Bensouda, visited Nigeria, and a report was written, and Nigeria was given an opportunity at the time to defend itself. So it's not as if it's a one-way traffic. The Nigerian government will also make its representations if it is established that there is indeed a case of genocide in the southwestern part of Nigeria. However, the ICC itself, or if you like, the Rome Statute itself, has been very controversial. A country like the United States, for example, is not a signatory to the Rome Statute.
Yeah.
So you can't say the ICC will go and investigate any kind of complaints with regard to the International Criminal Court. And you also recall that some countries have even had cause to withdraw from the ICC, and there have been complaints about how most of the high-profile cases that have appeared before that body do not favor African countries, and that African countries will seem to be a kind of special target. But at the level of drawing international attention to their own mission, to their own concerns about how Nigeria is governed, that is one thing they may have been able to do. And the only response that we have so far from the ICC is that the 27-page document has been documented, has been noted in the communications register. So if anything is going to go beyond that, it will come from the ICC. So, but I'm sure the Nigerian government, will not, will be prepared to present its own version of the story.
Rufai, your comment on the story.
I mean, from time, there's always been people that feel oppressed. I mean, when you look at international laws and conventions as regards, secession and self-determination and the likes, there's always a caveat there. And the caveat has always been people that feel disgruntled, people that feel oppressed within a certain unit. So there's always been that. People will always come out and say that. And when they feel oppressed, they have the right to say that. I mean, we talk about Canada a lot, but we forget that Quebecois are still saying, okay, how can we look at the union again? We forget that groups like ETA, Escondita Sakatasuna, was there from 1959 to about 2018 in Spain before Luis Rodriguez Zapatero, the Prime Minister of Spain, then said, okay, they had finally said, okay, we want to make peace. We forget groups like FARC and the likes. Truth has to be said. What is the formative word here? Oppression. The question is, how can we solve this? How can the government sit on the table with these people and bring all of them together and say, okay, these are your rights. This is how I'm going to address your concerns, and we move forward to a greater, stronger nation. There's a lot we can do together when we come together, but the government, like I always say, must listen to its people. Absolutely. It goes back to that listening to the people, listening to their grievances, that we can settle matters like this.
Well said, Rufai. We'll take another story. Pastor Paul Ade-Farason, the head pastor of the House on the Rock Church, in a video now circulating on social media, described Lord Lugard, who amalgamated the northern and southern protectorates of the country, as a devil incarnate, adding that most of the issues in the country originated from him. The cleric further described the Independent National Electoral Commission as a fraud, saying that the numbers obtained during the census and elections in the country are all lies. Let's take a look.
If we don't fix some of Nigeria's problems today, that is this INEC problem. I will say it plainly. INEC, put me in trouble if you like. It is a fraud. The numbers in Nigeria, as far as census are concerned and as far as election is concerned, are a lie. And if nobody will speak up about it, the righteous should speak. And our righteousness is not of ourselves. It is of him, and he will protect. Hallelujah. It is important. It is skewed now so that where the numbers are not properly reflected in our voting. This is the only country in West Africa where you move from the ocean to the desert and the numbers decrease, or rather they increase. The only country. It's the only country in the world where you move from a large body of water to little or no water and the numbers increase. It was not Nigerians that started it. It was the parents of Nigeria who were not good parents. They were not good parents. The man, Lord Lugard, was a devil incarnate. And what he did to this country, we are suffering it many years later, and it's time that we must tell the truth. I have that sword in my office, the sword of what's his name? Lord of Locksley, Robin Hood. Why? Because part of my job is to make sure that the wealth of Nigeria is redistributed with an evenness. How do you do it? Not by giving the poor rice and oil at election time. Give them an education.
Tundu, he is so powerful. I always love it when he speaks. I mean, I agree with almost everything that he said in that video.
Well, this is political activism from the pulpit.
Yeah.
A lot of people used to say, why is the church silent in the face of so many societal ills? Nobody's going to say that now. And there's, well, to quote the psalmist, if the foundations are destroyed, what can the righteous do? Pastor Folade Farrison is telling us exactly what the righteous can do and what they ought to do. As for Lord Lugard, that blood-drenched imperialist, I have to say I completely agree with his characterization.
Absolutely.
He sowed seeds of destruction in this country deliberately. The hatchetman of the Royal Niger Company never intended any good for Nigeria. And you recall that was him and Bruce Harcourt who described the amalgamation of North and South as a marriage, with the North being the husband and the South being the wife. And we all know the connotations of that. That's why till today, when men get together and say we should have a Southern president, you start hearing shrill hysteria. Don't threaten us. There should be no ultimatums. It's quite sickening, actually. And to go back to Lord Lugard, I mean, he just wreaked a trail of total havoc all over the world. Not just in Nigeria, in Uganda, in Hong Kong. They sent him there to do their dirty work. Recall the bloody conquest of the Sokoto Caliphate in 1903. That characterization, I'm sorry, is completely spot on, I have to say.
Completely.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Pastor Ade Farrison is first a citizen.
Yes.
At the same time, he's a priest. So in both capacities, he's entitled to his own views. And those views that he has expressed are views that are also expressed by many Nigerians. He's talking about census being, a problem in Nigeria. It's calm. Yes. It has been so since the first major census. The first census was in 1911. The second major census was in 1921, ahead of the 1922 general elections under the Clifford Constitution, the first elections held in Nigeria. And since then, census has always been a problem. In 1931, the census resulted in riots over tax because people thought that they were going to document them so that they could pay tax. And that is how it has been. We are even now at a point where we don't even know how many we are in Nigeria. We're using United Nations estimates to project the population of Nigerians. The UN recommendation is that censuses should be conducted every 10 years. Now we have not been able to do that. They were supposed to hold another census in 2021. That has not happened. We just hear stories about money being, planned for it. So at that level, many people will agree with them because the population crisis in Nigeria is a major issue. We don't even know who we are. He talked about INEC being a fraud, a scam. Well, there are many Nigerians who also think that, INEC, we need to do something about it. Its independence, its structure. Only last week, people were complaining about the nomination of Loretta Onoche. But on Lugard, well, I have an attitude about this. I usually don't like to blame the outsider. Mm-hmm. Lord Lugard was sent here, first, as an agent of the imperialist. He left in 1906. He went to Hong Kong. He came back in 1912 with a mission to join the two protectorates. He became governor of the Northern Protectorate. He did whatever he did. He died in 1945. This is 2021. We're still blaming Lugard. We have had opportunities as Nigerians. Why have we not sorted out our own affairs? Okay, so I don't like blaming outsiders. And, you may disagree, but that's his own view. He thinks that Lugard is the devil incarnate. How about the other leaders that we have had that are not imperialists, that are Nigerians? What difference have they been able to make?
Yeah, they've been exonerated. Well, starting from the foundation.
Well, all right. That's all I have for you guys on What's Trending today. I will see you tomorrow.
Thank you,
Thank you very much, OJ.
All right, then.